King's Crusher ICC Blitz Banter session. So this is Friday. Actually, it's an adjusted time in the UK. It's 8 PM here. So we've got some adjustment time. But alright, so hope everybody is having a good week. I'm going to say hi all on stream and check for any challenges. Otherwise, we can just play on the auto pairing for a moment. The first game, unless you want to throw out any challenges to me, but I'll play maybe the first game on the auto pairing to kick things off. I'll start the auto pairing, 5 minutes. Okay. Oh, very strong opponent. Okay, I wonder if try. Oh, London system, is it? Very quick, very quick. I've just blundered a piece, haven't I? A pawn. That was dumb. You can just take it. Yeah, it's not a gambit or anything. Already making a mistake. Oh dear. Yeah, you can just take it. Right. This might not be the best start. Is he taking it here though? We've got something going on here. Unintended. Ooh, okay. Get some pressure. Get some more pressure. Well, there might be some interesting compensation. You never know. Nice little pin for a moment, but knight e5, yes. He's got pressure everywhere and unpinning. So I wanted bishop g6, bishop e4. Bishop g6, bishop e4. Oh, okay. Is this going to be another pawn biting the dust? It is. Can I punish this in some way? I have to do something. g5. I have to do something. Ah. So he'll win any endgame, I assume. So I've got to get him before then. So maybe bishop g6, h5, g4, g3 after. Try and do something. What else is exciting? f5. I'm going to give up more pawns now. c5 just to get this queen off d4. Then h5, g4. Yes, it's pretty crude stuff. I wonder if he can underestimate this or not. Queen g4, h6 for f5. c4 first to block the queen. f5. Oh, that'll get back to e4 though. So the current plan is just to try and be tricky from this position, in inverted commas. Can I try and be tricky and resourceful? To do that, you need to find some resources. To do that, a little bit of work needed. f5, h5, g4. Just trying to dislodge the knight and queen h4 later. Possibly. He's always got e4. Okay, let's go for this. I've got my bishop here, which doesn't mean much at the moment. And he'll be on g4 as well. H5. I'm just weakening myself too much. Let's put the bishop back here for a moment. I don't like this capture thing anyway. Alright, he's attacking that. Yes, okay, I'll try and keep control of E5 if I can, without allowing D7. So rook D8, G4 after. And G4 doesn't do anything. Try and be tricky here, as I say. G4. It's got knight H4. It's not really going anywhere. On the other hand, I'm not spoilt for choice. I can pin this pawn for a moment, actually. That's a nice thing. So that pawn's pinned. I'll take away H4. Wow.
Check.
What's the idea? I'm not sure what the idea is of that. Now I'm finding out. Whoa. Is it going to be too much? What about Queen G5, I wonder? Protecting my D8 rook. Oh, have I got? I think I should have taken when I had the chance. Still got my chance to take it. Bishop C7 on rook D8. Just to stop another rook D8 after it doesn't help. Now I think I'm losing a piece here. This doesn't help. He's winning a bishop. I can't get out of this. That was a good combination. Haven't got time. I'm losing a piece. He just takes and rook D8 again. Yeah, this is over. This is all over by the shouting. There's not much shouting. Oh, I have to write this off. Well played. Okay, a challenge, chess 64. Hi there. So this is a 3-minute game. That was a good game. Wow. So chess 64. Is he around? Okay, was a 3-minute game. I just bought that. Okay, we're gonna have a lot of auto pairings at this rate, which is unfortunate if I get killed every time. So let's see. Probably. Oh, okay. We're challenging again. Are we? Nope. All right. Let's go for another. Oh, getting even higher rated on the auto pairing is a killer on Friday night. I must avoid Friday night to be on the auto pairing. It's an absolute killer. Okay. 2-4-C6. 2-4-6-6. Try this. I'm hoping it's not what he's doing here. not too much anyway. Alright, what's happening? Bishop g4, bishop g4, queen b3 might be an idea. Not entirely sure. I think I've had this sort of thing before and it doesn't always work out. e6, queen takes, knight a5. Doesn't always work out. But it might be interesting. Somehow I'm a bit cynical of it. But I'll play it. Doesn't have a pawn. Now on d5 there's check. You can always, of course, double my pawns. Am I worried? Am I worried about this position? There's queen c6 immediately. If it doesn't do anything about that, it's queen e7, I'll take the rook. So bishop takes actually queen c6. Alright, well, there's a check there, which might be handy. Now e5. e5 looks interesting. In that bishop takes, e takes. If e takes, I mean d takes. Alright, should I just take that off? Ooh, should I take it off? There might be d7 after. Although I doubt that's particularly appetizing. Maybe need a better idea what to do here. Knight d4, d takes. Or e takes. I'll try this. That's the horrible double pawns. Maybe that was silly. Find out soon. Situation here. What is? Okay, probably I'm worse, I assume. Yeah. Getting harassed. Bishop b4. Can I just keep the 7th rank for a moment? Just try and hold the 7th rank. If I can. Oh, there's knight f4. I've just given knight f4. That might not be clever. This looks very passive. Oh, I think I'm doomed for knight f4. He just plays a check. And this game's gone. Yes. Just realised the check. This is also probably... yeah, it looks doomed. He's controlling e1. It looks like a total disaster. Yeah. In fact, rook c1 is mating. Yeah. Or is it just, yeah, just taking everything off, winning? Unless there's some sort of glimmer of hope here. I doubt it. I don't think so. I'm just losing a piece. Oh, this has been really tough. Really 2 games. Let's get some challenges in, yeah, to save the auto pairing for a moment. Cherish the auto pairing. Okay. It's pretty tough on a Friday night. Pretty tough. don't think that line, I think I'll have to give up that line. It doesn't do much for white actually, because white was already a pawn down, so yeah, I don't think that was much. Mm-hmm. If I play for knight d5, is that anything to write home about at all? Maybe it's something, maybe it's some sort of space advantage. Okay, bishop. Okay, going back here now, I think. Knight d4 to b5 might be good. Except knight d5, I've just blundered a pawn, haven't I? Not doing too well tonight. They didn't take it, it's let me off. Any knight takes d5, in fact. Let's get out of this tactical liability business with knight d5. Yes, that was unfortunate. My bishop wasn't protecting the rook there. Yeah, just knight takes d5. Like a hawk tonight, not like a hawk. So, well, this looks like a good position. Now, I wonder if I can get rid of the dark square bishop. Just because it's quite a good piece, probably, to get rid of. Go back for this e7 pawn. If I can go back for this e7 pawn, I'll be happier. Keep that knight for a moment. Maneuver for e7. I can't keep a lock. Okay, maybe I can keep a lock on things a bit more with this. So a4, b4. I've also got a4 that weakens b4. Right, it's going to be going for knight b4. I just wanted this position where I'm targeting e7. Now he's already weakened my b4, so I'll just clamp down on b5. Okay, can I stop knight c5? I think that's a pain. And try and discourage f5 for a moment. Targeting e7 finally. So the question is, there's knight f6, yeah. That's not too handy at the moment. So I'll just carry on for a bit. Knight f6 here needs to be checked. Hold on a sec, there's knight takes d6. Knight takes d6 is a different story, but he's got knight d3. Alright, knight d3. So I better take, probably to be on the safe side, knight takes d6, knight d3. If I just take that for a moment, open up this bishop. I wonder about g5 f4, takes king f3. If I get something with this temporary pawn sack. Or not. Right. Do I get to play? Okay. This f file, hang on, check.
Check.
Is that any good? I can double here quite quickly, and maybe bishop g6 is useful on rook f8. No, not there. Take it here. Bishop g6 here. Marks out f7 for a moment. Still controlling some key squares from the knight. There's rooks active here as well. I wonder if rook f8 or play for g5 to go play h6 just in time or not. He's not allowing that. Yeah, is there? There's no nasty knight check, is there? If I take, king takes. The knight's pretty good. Am I threatening anything? Like take? Everything's on dark squares here, so I'm not. H6. Oh, finally, this looks interesting. For rook takes.
Check.
Bring another rook here. All of a sudden I'm on. We've got to check that. I thought I'm on e6 and h6. Well, yes, I'll nick this pawn.
Check.
Can I nick another pawn?
Check.
Right, I think rook. Stop rook e3 for a moment. Try and get over here as well. If rook b6, so what do we have? On the pawn bites the dust over here. Can I get this? Or c5? He'll probably counter-attack this, but maybe c5. Or just walk the king. If the rook goes, yeah, maybe just walk the king over. Yeah, and it should be okay. I think I just walk the king now. Keep some opposition going. Drag this pawn down. Just drag this pawn down a bit. Keep the opposition. Oh, he's got the check. It's not so easy. Okay, drag the pawn down. He's got king d6. That'll be c7 check. That's check. That makes that possible. Okay, let's might get reversing this. I'm playing this. Rook d6. King takes, king c5. I could end up losing. So, for let's just try for this a5 pawn. Except I might be losing c7. Try for a5 instead. It will still be two connected passed pawns. Still be good. Surely. Okay. Oh, well, rook c5.
Check.
Alright. Thanks. Alright. Is chess 64 available? Try again. Nope. Nope. Oh. Okay, hi chess 64. Okay. Right, play King's Engine. And play like this. Maybe e5 and take it from here for a moment. Is queen c6 possible? It pins the knight to g2. I wonder if it's useful in some way. if I move this rook, I'm conscious that it might actually take this pawn. If I use this rook, maybe I should use this rook for the e file. If I use that rook, there's b5 coming, right? Alright, this b5 looks a concern, I suppose. What if I just played, okay, queen here, just to protect a6 for a moment. If I got the chance to play a5, it's sort of closing up things. Let's protect f7. So the situation now takes, could get the queens off, could hit a4. In case you're wondering, by the way, there's fireworks on at the moment here, around here. So you might hear that from outside. Okay. So knight f4 is actually all of a sudden interesting, I think, because it sort of opens up the bishop if he takes and the rook, and it might, that e5 square might be handy. So I'll be happy, I think, if he took. If he didn't, queen e3. Okay, right, so knight e5 coming up just to hold that e5 square, I think. Or should I take on b5 first? Maybe I take here first, just so I don't have to worry about over there. So I get this e5 square. Right, holding that e5 square. I'm happy now, relatively, with the position. Maybe I can even, or just take on c. Maybe I could just take on c3. Be cheeky. If I can take that free pawn, that's another question. Is it a poison pawn? Queen c4, bishop e5. Right, I've got to hold the entry points. I think queen here, I'm hitting b3 if he goes down. So I've got b3 under fire. Maybe king g7, threatening c4 is handy. And maybe some water at this point. So, I think this is all right, this position at the moment. If I try and just keep on the dark squares, this entry point or this one, maybe even bishop c6. There's an a pawn hanging as well. Check king g7, unless the rooks are coming for me quite quickly. It might be tempting just to take that a pawn, actually. If I can take this a pawn. Is it a poison pawn? Is the problem? It might be. Actually, I can't see it actually. I hope I'm not going to find out something horrible about this. What's happening? Okay. There might be a check because knight takes, rook takes. Yeah, I might play the check, I guess.
Check.
Try and think about this. Try and not lose a piece here. Because he's on my rook, right? Maybe, okay, if he moves the king, rook b4. Right, have this position.
Check.
Okay. Now, what is threatened? If I go rook here, he's threatening that pawn. I'll go around here, I think. Okay, so we take
Check.
this. Still got one extra pawn to play with. Not too much, but it's something. Can my king come to e5?
Check.
Okay, I've just lost the pawn. Can my king go to e3? That's the next question. Without losing more material. So entry my king. Oh dear. It's an
Check.
active king now. Unless it's going to get mated with rook d3. Oh god. Let's try and keep the king relatively safe. Not get overexcited about king e3. Okay. Go around here now again. This position. So I'm hoping there's something about having the active king which might be an advantage. If I lose my double pawns here, so we have another rook and pawn ending battle. Oh, I'm not sure. I think I want to torture him from this position, if possible. If possible, might not be. Can I play for g3? Is that dangerous? If I lose a pawn but get g3 in, isn't that dangerous for a mating net or something?
Check.
Rook on the 7th.
Draw.
Hold on a sec. Let's block this pawn. Am I trying too hard? Oh god. Probably trying too hard, right?
Check.
He's winning all my pawns. This is really annoying.
Check.
I'm just the pawn down. I probably should give a draw, because if he wants to draw. No, he doesn't. Okay, I did try.
Check. Check.
Oh.
Check. Check.
Right.
Time. Check.
He tried too hard. I did offer a draw. Oh my god. Not very convincing. Thanks.
Checkmate.
Yeah. It would be checkmate, yeah. Okay, chisel next. Okay. Oh man. Yes, don't try too hard in the rook and pawn endings. Yeah. Don't blunder all the pawns. If you can manage it. Okay. There's a gambit here which goes knight b5, I think. Yep, knight b5, I think. Trying to get some development advantage. Hitting c7. I'm sorry, I feel naughty about the previous game. I did offer a draw at one point. Please forgive me. Sorry. Oh dear. Oh dear. Anyway. Alright, yeah, I've got to protect D2. How? Queen D2? Is that move Queen D2? What is the standard way? Is it just Queen E2? There's 94. There's a 94 or something. I'm not totally familiar with this. He's letting me protect the pawn. I'm still hitting C7. This might be good news. But has he got knight D4? Knight C3. Alright, if I neutralise that bishop, hold on, while I still can, Queen E4, Knight C3, I want to try and get some development. I can castle queenside potentially. So Queen E4, Knight C3, I'll try and castle queenside. If I can get some development. Okay, so what's happening? A6, bishop takes, gives me knight C7 after. He took here, which
Check.
that wouldn't be too hot. Okay, now is knight D2 possible? Still trying to get some development. If Queen E4 just castle. So I'm hitting the queen. Knight C4 after, maybe the queen moves along the E file, because otherwise I've got discovered check. Now if Queen E5, Knight C4, if Queen takes, there's Knight D6 check, winning the Queen. If Queen E6, Knight C4, if Queen E6, I'm saying Knight C4. That might be better. Maybe G3, Knight F6, Bishop H3. So if he took... Queen E6. What's wrong with Queen E6? Actually, it hits A2. Is there something wrong with Queen E6? Is that better? I've got discovered checks and stuff. Knight B3 might be good because it means, I think, although Knight C4 is tempting as well, and these discovered checks are worth checking out. What about just Bishop C5 check? If Knight E7, is that worth playing? That's the question. Maybe it is.
Check.
Because Knight E7, haven't I got something like taking, simply taking, and Rook E1? If I just take this and Rook E1, because my knight can always come back, right? Takes, king takes, on bishop takes. Does he give out a piece? My bishop will be protecting the knight. Queen A2, dangerous. C3 is not fatal. Check, king C2. Queen's holding the rook. Bishop's blunted if I get to play C3. It's possible that his development over here is not great. So maybe I can just take this knight. I will. I'm protecting the knight. Although there's no knight B1, I think there might be C3 here. So now check king c2, check king b1. I'm threatening bishop c4. Okay, for the queen f7 and rook e8 tactical idea. Back row mate, in effect. Queen f7, rook takes, rook e8 would be
Check.
mating. If I just get a tempo here with bishop b3, probably not b3 because there's queen a2 check there. But bishop b3, queen takes knight, queen f7, queen takes f7, rook takes, rook e8. So I think bishop b3 on queen a4 check. Bishop b3 could be good for queen f7. That little pattern is good to know. Rook takes, rook e8 checkmate. Okay,
Check.
check bishop b3. Has he got any other checks? Oh, didn't see that one. That's a good one. Okay, what about knight d6 here? That holds the bishop there and stops queen f5 check. So I still think it's fun, this position. I think I'm threatening now bishop f7 takes. So bishop f7 takes with the queen. Takes with it here. Oh, that's interesting. What about taking on f8? King takes. Rook e8 is checkmate. I think that's a nice forcing move for rook e8.
Check.
Okay, yeah, nice. Thanks to the game. Thanks to the game. Rocky top. Hi there. That was an interesting game. Okay. So Rocky top. Maybe a King's Engine defense. Oh, we get these London systems a lot, don't we? this evening, everyone's playing London system. Or not. No, c4. So bishop b7. And I'm going for this c5 again. I know I managed to lose all my pawns in the other game, but I'm hoping to do an improvement here. If I win a pawn, I'm hoping not to lose it back later. So knight takes c5 maybe, or do I take? That gives actually a nice c file to play with, and potentially b5 and stuff might be handy, or let's see, d5 or b5, or try and just sneak my queen to a8. Hang on a sec, I like this maneuver just from an aesthetic point of view. Queen b8 to a8, just from aesthetics, the hypermodern kind of maneuver, looking down the center towards the king, isn't so bad sometimes. It would get out of this pin as well. This pawn is pinned at the moment, so queen a8, although he could shut that diagonal down, maybe there's more to it than that. I can probably use the dark squares if ever d5 is played. Well, at least to some extent, I hope. So d5 is not being played, right? So can I play e5? Am I asking for trouble by playing e5? I'm trying to undermine some dark squares here. Although losing my dark square bishop, yeah, a bit of king safety is reduced. But on the other hand, this position, I'm hoping for things like maybe e4 and knight c5. Maybe looking down this diagonal is kind of fun, potentially. In fact, knight c5, if knight takes e5, bishop takes b7. So maybe knight c5 is on the cards here, although b4, knight e6, maybe. Knight c5, b4, knight e6, possible. What am I doing, yeah, with this hypermodern diagonal? So knight c5, b4, knight e6. Yeah, maybe. How's everyone in the chat today? I hope you're enjoying the game so far. Hi there. Okay. Okay. Chess 64. You knew Edward Boyle? Yeah, he's a very nice guy on the site. He was a great guy on the site. Right. Okay. Yep. Knight c5 coming up, I think. Knight c5 or not. Maybe with caution. I don't want to lose e5 with the queen. So what about if I do this? Now the knight moves. Knight c5 might be more plausible, or knight e5 for that matter. Knight e5. Hold on. So knight e5, rook e8. Does that give me anything to write home about in this position? I wonder. Rook e8. Or later a b5, or maybe a rook c7, rook c8, b5, just to hit the pawn chain here on c4, because I'm not sure I'm doing anything over there, but for the moment e5. Alright, maybe the queen should go back to support e5. Hope there's no queen sack with queen f6. I'm going to check this forcing move all the time as well. Kick the queen away.
Check.
Ah. Ouch. Oh, I didn't see that one. Oh my god. I'm just lost the exchange, or worse. Ah, didn't see that one. Please just take the exchange. Let me live another day. What a dope. I'm such a dope. Come on. Please just take the exchange. Oh, man. Oh, I thought I was plain sailing for a moment. Oh. But he didn't checkmate me. It could have been worse. He could have checkmated me. I'll threaten knight f3 now to win the queen. That naughty little tactic, knight f3, which he spots. There's no such thing as plain sailing in chess, it seems. Tonight is proving there's no such thing. Muppets. Can I take on d5 to get my exchange back? He's got something else horrible lined up. If I blockade for a moment, he hasn't got bishop e5, protects e4 and blockades the d pawn. Okay, can I not just just hold on here for a bit? Awkward position.
Check.
Customary losing rook and pawn ending for tonight has been reached, but with clock advantage.
Check.
What can I do here? Not much. I'll try for rook c3. Oh, time. Saved by the bell. Okay, Trent David. Hi, Trent David. So, oh man, Queen G5 for knight F. Oh, Muppets. Okay, so this is a 3-2 game. This is a 3-2 game, right? It's just, I'm sorry, I can only apologise on stream. I can only apologise about this. Sorry, I've had a long day. I don't know what to say. You know, I'm missing some moves here from opponent. Everyone's really resourceful. So knight a6, c7. Can I get to play e5? Or is he going to take Umson? I want to keep things closed a bit. Is he going to take? Ah, he took. Ah. So knight g4 to e5. This backward pawn could be a major cause for concern later. Please play some grobs. Okay, I might try and play the grob. Yeah, you're right. I could play something interesting, like in the opening. It's a knight g4 to e5. Or not. Yes, I have to be concerned about bishop f4 as well. Maybe there's knight e8. Rook b8 for b5. If I just take that for a moment. So the bishop can drop back. Maybe it's d7. Just holding g4 anyway for a moment. It doesn't look entirely bad as a Benoni structure goes at the moment. Yes. Okay. So knight f4 bishop. I'll put the knight on f4 for a moment. Can be hit soon. Bishop e5 maybe. Oh, it's knight f3. This knight's not entirely stable. There. Maybe I should just take that off.
Check.
Take it off. Let's play rook e8. Bit of pressure down the e file. Tactics to be aware of, like this or f5, maybe f5. Not so much a tactic, trying to weaken the dark squares a bit.
Check.
c4. I like the dark squared bishop here. Maybe f4 and oh, not yet, not yet. Can I go in on the dark squares a little bit? Queen c5, creep on the dark squares delicately. Bishop e3, queen c5, creeping on the dark squares. I could isolate that pawn. Ooh, okay. Now I guess queen e5, there's f4. I got a pawn majority over there. Can I? This position is not to be feared, surely. Too much. What is it? if I cover the entry point, I can move the rook without worrying about taking and rook e7. Come down to a2, try and use the 2-to-1 pawn majority, I think. Especially now c3 seems to be on the cards. With that pin. Now, interesting. Knight moves c2, rook moves rook b2, rook takes b2. In fact, simpler. Knight moves just rook takes b2. Takes. There's knight d2 after. But that looks
Check.
as though the knight's too tight down. Bishop here to c2. I cut the king from d1. Bishop c2. Yeah, I think this is good. It's good news. Okay. Thanks. There's Metanov. Hello. By the way, my YouTube avatar, I don't know if you've ever noticed it, is actually a positional queen sack game from, there's Metanov. My actual YouTube avatar generally is a position. I was asked about that today. A little bit of trivia. So there's sort of French defense going on here. I think White's position has weaknesses, like check could pick up a pawn potentially. That could be handy. Or a loose bishop if I have queen check here, just to pick up the bishop. Okay, that's been avoided, but at some expense, I think. Bishop b4 check is dangerous, and knight e5 probably. Yeah, or d3 coming up as well. Not sure exactly what. Could go with bishop b4 check, I guess. Or could try and work out something more concrete. Seems disruptive. I'll go for
Check.
that. It just seems disruptive. Play this. But then what? Is that pawn just dropping? Or have I got knight e5? Knight e5. Oh, this is interesting. Bishop d4 coming next. So knight d3, knight d3, bishop d3, bishop f2, king f2, queen d3. Bishop d4, queen d4 is fine. So I think knight d3 is fine because of knight d3. Yeah, these dark squares look compromised. The check threatens queen d4, picks up the knight on f4. So yeah, I think this is quite an interesting position to have at the moment. I kind of like it when White plays a kind of version of the advanced French, sometimes with some weaknesses to pick on. I guess every French player likes that. Okay, so bishop takes and queen d4 is threatened. Okay. Queen e3 looks like a threat as well. If g3, queen e3, White will be losing a piece here. Looks dangerous.
Check.
It does look dangerous to me. I don't know about these checks here, or just picking up the knight. I could just pick up the knight, and that should be good fun. If actually the bishop is good fun as well, because knight takes, there's knight d3 picking up the rook. If queen takes, I pick up the knight. If check here, I think king f8. I can't see anything beyond that at the moment, so maybe just taking here. Although the queen could potentially be dangerous. Not here, probably.
Check.
Not yet. Knight d6, king moves. Not yet for that queen. Oh, there's queen f2 checkmate anyway in this position. Let's have a quick peek on that. If king moves, queen f2. Okay. Hello, phantom. Oh, examined. Hayen. Hi. Hayen. Okay. You guys are saving me from the wrath of the dreaded auto pairing. I played on the auto pairing a few mornings ago. I managed to get to play. This is a tribute to the strength of the ICC auto pairing. Like 3 GMs, which I lost all 3. This was like a few mornings ago. Yeah, I have uploaded it to the channel on schedule, don't worry. And some of them I've just really badly collapsed. Very instructive, but I've really badly collapsed against the GMs. So I think if there's one thing the ICC teaches is definitely from the auto pairing humility. That there's so many strong players around, you've just got to like try and learn from them if you can. And it's great experiences. I mean, you know, that's great experiences anyway. So the odd blue moon, one might take a game or draw a game, but against a GM or whatever. But that's cool. So sometimes, but yeah, the other morning I literally had like something like 2 or 3 GMs in one morning session, trying to cross like 2300. It's quite amazing. So anyway, coming back to this position, is there bishop g5 possible? Okay, so it's a classic, at least I've unpinned the pawn in advance, so e4 is the problem. And it's awkward, really, isn't it? What if I took on c6? Just to be able to take on c5, trying to double the pawns here. If I try and double the pawns, knight takes, bishop takes. Now, if bishop takes, actually, hold on a sec. Isn't there knight takes? Wow. Bishop takes, knight takes, hitting the rook. Do I end up material up? Okay, he didn't go for that. I wonder if that was the reason. Okay, can I do this now? To hold e4 and try and put my bishop on this diagonal. It seems sensible to play e5 to open up the bishop on this diagonal. Knight d2. So let me see, e5 on, and then knight e4. Oh, okay, that pre-move. So e5 and knight e4, or e5 and f5. Interesting. Hopefully there's no tactic with rook d2 coming up. Am I safe to play that, or is there queen d3? Maybe there's queen d3. If I play knight f3, rook e8, this might be safer. I'm shielding d3 for a moment longer. That might be important, just to shield d3 from that coordination square. Now, if rook e8, okay, let me see. Actually, a6 is hanging in all this. Why can't I just take on a6?
Check.
Now, I can protect this pawn again, or I can play queen b5. Queen b5, queen e4. So queen e2 back to base. If rook e8, e5, maybe just back to base, basically. I want to be able to play. What do I want to play? Probably e5 here. Probably. And if I can support that pawn without losing it, he could naturally double. We could get this position where maybe I've got queen b5 on knight e5. Maybe there's thing queen e8, but he's protecting e8 quite strongly. So we're going to have this battle around e5 now, right? And is there anything I can do about it? I'm just going to lose that pawn, am I? This is the story of this game. I'm going to lose that pawn. Knight h4. Hang on. Knight h4 might have something to say about this. Or not much to say about it, actually. So let's look at this. Rook e8, queen e4. Takes. We get another dreaded rook and pawn ending with my king not very active. I'll probably want to try and avoid that. Keep the queens on, maybe. Keep the queens on. Keep some tension going. Okay, this knight e5, knight h4. Try and keep some tension going. Except the thing is, it's going to backfire because of knight g4 if I'm not careful. Alright, let's stop knight d3. Now if knight g4, queen g3. So much for keeping tension going. So we're back to a trademark rook and pawn ending, which has been the theme of this evening, it seems. Great. Trademark rook and pawn ending. It's not entirely favourable, unfortunately, at the moment. I'll hope to try and queen the g pawn here if I lose b2. Try and get these two guys and queen this b pawn. That's my current plan. Yes, activating the only plan available. Stop rook g3 for a moment. I can't take that. And I can't stop, unfortunately, I can't stop his b pawn, can I? g5, b4, g6, b3, g7, b2, queen. Okay, he's not going to let me do this. If he doesn't let me do this, I might have rook c5. I don't know what it is about this evening. I seem to be in rook and pawn endings. Whatever I do, whatever happens earlier, I go into rook and pawn ending. I'm hitting c5. That's the beauty of this move. There is rook h7 or rook c5. I can snap c5 while I've got a chance. Or play rook h7, which doesn't snap that. Snap this off. If I play g7. Okay, have I got enough moves to do everything I want to do? Probably not.
Check.
Oh, that was a gift. That was a Christmas gift come early. That was a very important gift to have. Yes, I got a bit lucky there. Thanks for the game. Very good game. Thanks for the game. And Gran. Playing my Gran now. Nah, bad joke. Okay, Norway. Flag right? Is that Norway? Hover. Okay, maybe not. Let's play an open Sicilian because I'm not trusting the Smith Morra after game 2 in this evening's session. It was not very successful with the Smith Morra. I'll use this bishop g5 f4 instead from the 1970s. Well, it's still popular today, probably. Yeah, probably mate 9. Okay. So knight b3, queen f3, castle queenside plan. Except it's interrupted. Can I just stop that without a4? I don't want to use a4 to stop this because I don't want a permanent b4 weakness. So if we can castle queenside, g4. Okay, that's for d5. I castle queenside, g4, h4. I mean, it's my type of position. I'm glad I didn't play a4 at the moment still, if that wasn't strictly necessary. But hang on, I mean, there's knight d4 to consider. Is there a tactic? Alright, knight d4 there. Oh boy, where is this going? Where is this going? Is it b5? Okay, I'm hitting d4 with this queen retreat. I think I've got knight f2. He takes on a4. Okay, can I castle when I can still castle? This has all got a bit messy. I don't know what the heck's going on now. Knight c3, b takes, rook a4, c takes, f6. I'm hoping f6 is dangerous. Knight d5, is it an important tempo gainer? If maybe knight d5 for f6. Knight f5. That looks unpleasant. My a4 is hanging. I've been annihilated. There's knight e3. Knight e3. Has to be said. Not good. Not good outcome. On any f5, I'm hoping for a little trick with... I was about to say bishop c4 check. Maybe here.
Check.
Potentially hitting this. It's knight d4. Little trick protects c2. And does it do anything else? Not really. Finding funny moves now. Maybe knight b5 after. This plays rook a4. I'm aiming to lose a piece here. Bishop b3. I guess the idea was knight b5 if that does anything whatsoever. So I'm hitting the rook, protecting c2. Rook b2, knight b5. Right, let's do this. Is there anything interesting here? Oh, I didn't expect that. Intriguing. So queen here? Intriguing. Is it like g4? Is it g5? Maybe g5 to g4. Yeah. Wow. Okay. h4. Let's try and get a grip on these dark squares. Got a nice blockade going on here. I don't know if he intended this, particularly, but I kind of like the blockade aspect. Maybe I can try and create some sort of dark square fortress with rook e1, put my king on a dark square. Okay, here, rook f4, some sort of dark square fortress. I get to play rook f4. Alright, knight e2, things are getting harder, but knight holds now. I know it's not out of blockade position, but it holds c3 and g3. I want my king to hold g3, and probably I want to go rook d1 at some point. Well, immediately. Yeah. Oh, he's going to pin that knight. Oh, that's going to get bad after bishop a6. It's not going to be so much fun. Here? Or here? I think here, and then move the knight. And hope for the best after he wins c3. Oh, blimey. Chess is hard. d4, rook c3 is on g3, so knight f4 might be better. Just trying to hold on. So I'm blocking g3. Not for much longer. Queen e1 to avoid the tempo gain of e3 on queen f2. Pretty miserable. Pretty miserable.
Check.
Can I go here? At least I'm protecting g3. You can sack the exchange. Can I play rook d5? Queen f2. I don't think there's immediate knockout. Rook e2. I'm going to take the. I'm hoping there's no immediate knockout. There's knight e6 on the queen. And the rook. And the pawn. Quite the family fork. If I take that, he's on the rook. So get another miserable position, basically. Alright. Swapped one miserable position for another. Ah! Super miserable. He's going to pin me to death. Rook a8. Oh no, his pawns are just coming in for the kill. Blockade with the king? Possible?
Time warning.
Better start moving if I want to at least play for a time win of desperation, pure desperation.
Check.
Seems a bit
Check.
unlikely here, actually, a time win.
Check.
Sorry. Sorry. I know, I've got more apologies to make. Oh, let's play difficult. It's been difficult enough. I'll play difficult. Let's get it over and done with. Difficult. it's just. I don't know what happened in that game. It's like I was taken into chaos theory, and I ended up with bad position after bad position. Maybe it proves bishop b5 was not right. It's difficult to judge all the forcing stuff. I'm sorry, I got the bunny ears. Okay, I'm a bunny. Okay, sorry. Anyway, let's get that over and done with. Oh dear. Oh man. Special occasion. Don't need the pawns. Oh dear. Okay. So h6 knight here to here. I don't usually do this with double pawns because often it's quite dynamic play. And it covers f4. I don't really like to do this generally. But anyway, just explore this thing, this position. Okay. Knight c5. The thing is, he's always... No, not quite. I was wondering if he can get a knight to f5. Maybe there's other routes to do that. Yeah, there's not much happening my way here, is there? Because of that f4 square being sealed off. I think white's got kind of a comfortable position. Knight f6, knight h7, knight g5. Is that an approach? Knight f6. What about knight g4? Knight h7 to g5. Knight g5. I'm not sure what this is doing. I don't usually have this structure, as I say, but there must be something to do. Come on, there must be something to do. Knight g5. Try and weaken h4. Is that worth doing? Bishop d7. Okay, if I take it here, okay, that's something. I get the h4 square. Yeah, this really does deprive a lot of plans. Any plan of knight of f4, any plan of f5, it's all pretty deprived situation. With white having that stranglehold on the f5 square, what to do? What to do? I'm going to get my queen trapped. Hold on. I think I've just trapped my queen. Yes. Very nearly with rook f5. Okay. Yeah. So if he takes rook f5, queen h4, g3. Oh, this would be great. Okay. Alright, 2 pieces for the queen. I'll move this back. Okay, my queen needs to escape. I was going to have 2 pieces for the queen. And I give my queen an escape square. H5 is rook F5 for rook H4. Oh my word. How did I get this? How did I get this? Just give my queen some squares. Takes 97. I just want to give my queen a square. I mean, you know. Gives it F6. Gives her F6. This might not be entirely bad. Pawn sack anyway. Queen F6, C6 later. At least the queen is not being trapped with rook F5. Queen H4, G3. That's good news about this. And it looks as though it's confused the heck out of my opponent while I do a random pawn sack. That's the other great angle on this. It's like I've done a random pawn sack. So, yeah, okay. I might be threatening knight d5 at some point, but at the moment, nope. Okay, can I get the c6 in without getting terminated on this diagonal if I play for c6? Alright, holding the dark squares at the moment. So not as dangerous as the other position with my queen getting trapped. I'll show you that in a moment. Just a brief post-mortem actually might be justified just for that critical position. Right, this is much more favourable than earlier. If I'm getting a knight to d4, I'm much happier than earlier. Fireworks in the background. There's g5 here. Oh, hang on. No, okay, I better stop g5.
Check.
He's still harassing my queen. I thought the problems were over. Have they just begun? Oh no. There's queen e3 maybe. Scary. Scary spice. d5 takes rook c8 for rook c2. Might be this thing. So rook c8 for rook c2. Or not. What about knight f3 plan?
Check.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for that. Let's have a quick hold on before I accept another challenge. I just want to show what I was fearing there, because I don't know if I've confused everyone on stream as well with what happened, but I noticed that, you know, around here I noticed if we stick the analysis on, I think my queen was getting trapped. Look, rook f5. Yeah, I was right. Look at this. Where do I go here? It's saying knight f4 is the best move. Just, yeah, this kind of scenario, I tried to just, essentially I thought I had to free my queen. And here, I think you can just trap the queen. Again, I thought my best move was like something like this, to give up 2 pieces for the queen. But this scenario, oh, apparently I can do this. Alright, that's less radical, isn't it? That's less radical than losing a pawn. Alright, yeah, so there was sort of method in the madness, But this did lose a pawn, yeah, to get the queen a square or two. On the other hand, it did undermine the centre a bit, and so c6 I think was made a bit more effective. The knight gets a dream rerouting of the knight.
Check.
I think I'm okay, sort of, although the engine's still giving an advantage to white.
Check.
I think I might finally been okay. Okay, so Zebil. Hi, Zebil. Jamaica. Just in case everyone thought I was crazy with that pawn sack. You see, there was an amazing genius behind it. Oh dear. It was out of desperation to free the queen. Okay. So anyway, moving on to another story. Okay, so here. If I take on d6. So c3, if I castle and bishop c2, or can I reroute the knight to g3? It looks as though my opponent's position is fairly solid at the moment. Fairly solid. I think mine is just okay. I wouldn't go to town on it, raving about it. Okay, especially here. Can I take this? So the situation now is rapidly evolving, in fact. Does he play knight c4, queen c2, h4, h5 coming up? Try and soften up the king side. Something to do with these two knights, otherwise why have them there? I can afford b3, I think. Although it does weaken the diagonal c3. Hit that later. Maybe c4 and d5 on c5. c4, d5. Oh, just lose the exchange. c5 looks... yeah. Okay. Let's worry about it later. Or now, hang on a sec. c5, d5, c4. c5, c4. Let's move this rook so I'm not in the firing line of this bishop for a moment. So c5, c4, not fearing about playing d5 straight after. Can I play this now? So I'm on a5. Is he going to really do that? Okay, so can I just lock down here for a moment against a4? I also wonder now about this plan. His queen's over here, the knight's over here. They're kind of hemmed in pieces. h4, h5. If I play d5, I'm liberating the bishop. On the other hand, I'm also giving up the e5 square potentially. I can't do that. The bishop's protecting d8. d5 might be a lesser evil anyway. Or, hang on, do I need to do that? What about knight e4? Then I could take here and get two rooks for the queen. I think I'd rather do this to try and get two rooks for the queen with knight f6. Check. dc, dc, queen takes, rook takes, rook takes. The queen's over there. The two rooks could be very useful here in this scenario. So knight takes f6 and d takes. D5 gives up the E5 square. Something to be avoided. Queen still... okay. Can I just play this to threaten, as though I'm threatening H5, which I'm not. Right, it's on B3. Maybe I just take on F6.
Check.
Hold on a sec. Let's just get rid of this pressure. Possibly... I might be leading anywhere. That knight might have been good. Queen D3. You can put pressure on E1. You can threaten CD, Queen D4, Queen B3. Can I do something about this? Rook E3 gets rid of some pressure. You have takes from Rook E8 though. What about King F1? Maybe King F1. So I can play knight takes without losing E1. King F1 gives me knight takes without losing E1 then. The king's holding on to E1. Just trying to neutralise some of the pressure here. Might be threatening DC. DC Queen D8. It's got Queen
Check.
C5. Giving up that file for a moment. Is it for Rook E8? Would I take? Oh, he's doing the same sort of thing as me. Alright. And if I play D5 just to get an advanced pawn chain, it could be losing in an endgame. What about DC instead? That's a backward pawn on D6. That might be a better shot here. Just DC. Just give him this backward pawn for a moment. Maybe Queen D4 on Queen C5. Or Knight D4. On Knight D4 there's D5. Knight B5 pins the pawn though. They could unpin. It might get nasty. Better start moving though. Hell, I think Queen D4 might be better. Maybe D5 after C5. So if takes, knight takes, D5, C5. Trying to get a passed pawn at some point. Alright, so D5, C5, knight D7, Rook C1, Rook C8, C6. This position, am I not slightly better if I try and torture his pawns? Knight B5. Okay, knight B5, knight C3. There's no knight C3 here. I'm ruling that out. G3, King G2, King F3. Or I'm on D6. Knight takes, Rook D8, C5. Knight takes. And that would be a trap. Yes. Maybe Rook D4 then. Okay, or just F3 here. Am I running into stuff? What stuff am I running into? Exactly. Have I got knight B7? Knight A5 next, or C5? Good clock situation, good pin here with Rook C1. If knight C5. The Rook D6 is interesting. Rook C7 or Rook C8? Rook D8, King E7. Right, can I not just... we'll get another... No, that's Rook D2! Yeah. Okay, what about this one? A bit safer. With the check. Oh,
Check.
Let's protect this guy. Alright, what do we have here? Is it nothing? Get another amazing rook and pawn ending. With a clock advantage. Again, I don't know, I feel really naughty tonight. I don't know what it is. I've got rook and pawn ending itis tonight. I keep going into rook and pawn endings. I know they're supposed to be frequent, but not this frequent. Oh.
Check.
Time decides it, I think, here. Or not.
Check.
Position win. Alright, thanks, Zebel. Very tough. J. Russell. I don't know. Yeah, rook and pawn itis tonight. I don't remember any session in the last few sessions where I've had so many rook and pawn endings. Oh, is it like because it's the winter? I've got. I don't know. Anyway. Right. Let's see if I can just double the pawns here, just to inflict structural damage for a moment. And you might wonder why, and I wonder a little bit. I'm just thinking it might be a good idea to do that. Structural damage. Okay, so queen d2. If given the opportunity, sometimes giving the opponent the bishop here is an interesting option. The swap is the structural damage trade-off. Now here there's also a certain d-file pressure which could brew. I could imagine rook ad1, g4, knight f5 potentially, or just a knight coming to f5, rook ad1, maybe g4, knight g3, knight f5. If you ever took, I get the g file. Rook ad1, g4. Is that too aggressive? Can I just do this? So there's pressure on the d file. G4, knight g3. Is g4 even needed? Actually, is it too weakening? Might give me knight g3 and g5, which might be interesting anyway. So knight g3, g5. So I'm wondering about this g file. If I can get this g file, maybe king h1, knight f5. So if he takes, then there's rook g1 later for bishop h6. Now bishop g5, maybe f4. Alright, I'll go with f4. I don't mind bishop g4. There's two bishops for rook. Now if he moves this back, plan's on course here. g6 is not too easy with that structure. Alright, this g file looks juicy. Now rook g1. This isn't too clever, is it? I'm just dropping e4. Where am I? I'm on g7 there. If you took. G7. Not that easy. Not that easy yet. Although, yeah, sorry. Okay, Gauze. Thanks, J. Russell. Gauze? Did we play Gauze earlier? Yeah, I only spotted that myself. Just then, really. I mean, out of necessity. Let's do this strange gambit line. I just want to say thank you again for saving me from the wrath of the auto pairing. But I'm doing videos each day from the auto pairing, And I'm trying to be very honest. I'm putting all my losses this year, every single one, as well as every other result. So on my kingscrusher YouTube channel, if you haven't been there. So yeah, I've been streaming basically for a while. Because the auto pairing is a really tough training platform, I think, for any serious over the board player. As I say, the other morning, 3 GMs in like one morning. Okay, so King H8, Bishop C5, Knight D4, that sort of thing. Or here, can I take it here? So I'm hitting this. Let's see, what flag is that? Morocco. I'm happy with that potentially because I think this H file could be handy. Bishop C5, Queen H4, King moves, Rook H8, that sort of thing. So Bishop C5, Queen H4, King H7, Rook H8 might be interesting. I could make this a little bit sneakier. Maybe King F7. Okay, let's not do that way. Hang on a sec. Let's just do this. King. What about Rook E7 to H7? Rook E7 to H7. Because King G7 there's Bishop H6, which is check. On King F7, I'll be worried about this diagonal with D4, maybe Bishop C4. Okay, so here. Okay, I'm going to do this. Which I know I mentioned for Bishop H6, but it's different. It's different slightly now, I think. Unless takes and D4. Is it on the check? Maybe just King. Well, I'll wait to get that position. I want to play Rook H8 basically. I want to play Rook H8. Good. Next, I want to put more pressure on H2 somehow. Okay, we have this position with more pressure coming on H2. Not immediately. Too dangerous. But could be bringing something here. Knight F7. So he takes, Queen takes, threatening mate. Knight F7 will be threatening mate if he took. If he doesn't, I wonder about G5. So he takes. There's no G3 because of Queen G3. We have this position. Let's have this position. So I'll be threatening mate if he takes. So G3, Queen G3. Good news. Now the bishop moves. Maybe Rook H2, Queen H2, Rook H8. Possibly. There's a slight flaw, I think, in Bishop H5. Doesn't work. What if I try and rule out Bishop H5? So Rook H2, Queen H2, Rook H8, I think doesn't work because of Bishop H5. I mean, because that's hitting my queen, it's unpinning. So if I play G4 first, Bishop B7, Rook H2, so the 2 for the queen there might be an interesting thing to have. All this position, Rook H2, Queen H2, Rook H8. I think that's an interesting
Check.
position. I'm hoping, I don't want to pre-move that because there could be King G1. If I'd pre-moved this on King G1, he would have Queen takes G3. It's dangerous to do pre-moves. Gotta wait to see what he does here. Obviously if he does King G1, Rook takes G2. If he takes rook h8, 2 rooks for the queen. The rooks don't seem totally amazing. The pawns and the knight look better bet than 2 rooks and the bishop at first sight. Should be, because there's no, the defense of the king is a bit low, I think, here. Ah, okay. Thanks for the game. Thanks for the game there. Ghouls. Okay, have we played? I'm just going to check who I've played recently. Ghouls. We just played. Chess 64. Didn't we play? We never got a game. Oh yeah. No, we did. Okay. Any other challenges? Keep some unique challenges tonight. Anyone else, or should I just play just one more? Should I try and get my revenge on the auto pairing? I'll try and get auto pairing. let's play George again. Okay, so we played George last week. I've been having some interesting games with him on the auto pairing recently in his pet system. And sometimes I get a reasonable position, believe it or not, from his pet system. Sometimes I get walked over positionally. If I dare castle, he's going to get a nice grip on all the squares if I'm not careful, like every single square going. I don't like giving up the dark square bishop particularly. I wonder if this is a lesser evil move. When I say lesser evil move, two choices aren't particularly good, just choose the lesser evil sometimes. So knight d8 to e6 would blunder a pawn, right? e5 drops. Weaken more more light squares. This d5 seems quite tasty for him. Try and rule that out of things for a moment. So, yeah, as I say, he's got a massive grip now on the position. It's not totally ideal, really. This bind he's got a nice bind on d5. Not that I'm threatening d5, I'm not. Right, it gives me a square for the knight at least. He gets that gorgeous d5 square in return. So I'm getting positionally murdered, I take it. Or am I? Maybe there's something going for the position here. maybe f5 is a breakout move. Queen g5 after. Yeah, let's try this breakout move. I think it might irritate him to see this. Trying to liberate the position a bit. Queen g5 instead of just being crushed remorselessly without any counterplay. Trying to do something. Might not work. Might not. So takes. Queen g5. He's all got knight d5. Takes. Takes. And what?
Check.
He's got bishop d5 coming. He's not going to take this, is he? Just out of principle. In fact, if he takes it, there's d5 with d4. That's the more serious concern, probably. d5. Ah. Can I do it like this? Yes, he's heading for a strong knight versus bishop ending, I think. Yeah, I want to kind of avoid that if I can. This doesn't look too clever. If I take it here, the bishop's pinned actually. But then queen e4, that won't help. What about just here, trying to pierce some dark squares? Okay, so takes and queen g5 after. Trying to grovel for some counterplay before I end up in this dead bishop versus knight endgame. At the moment the bishop's pinned. He plays this, takes. Alright, he's opening up my bishop for bishop d4 here. That's something. Whoa! No! He's letting me liberate. Can't do
Check.
this. He's letting me liberate the position. I didn't need to give me this bishop. He's letting me liberate the position. I might even have queen h4, rook d6, queen h2, rook h6 mating. If he's not careful. King h1, queen h4. You'd have to sack the exchange, and it gives me the c5 square. Be a pin on c3. Oh, this is getting dangerous for him. Unless I'm getting overexcited. It's possible I'm getting overexcited. But I'm starting to like my position. There's also queen g3 to h2. Is he going to sack this exchange or not? In fact, I don't really want him to. I think I should have played bishop e3. If he sacks the exchange on e3, that would have been more favourable. That's what I was about to say. Okay, let's switch the rooks, or not bother. Switch the rooks. Or let's just go back to the dark squares. Hold on a sec. Bishop b7. I'm not so terrified about rook b6. In fact, rook b6. Oh, it's not a check or anything. Rook c7 looks, or rook a7 looks like there's more counterplay on the way with rook a1 now. On rook c7 there was rook c6, but it looks to be like rook a1, queen d4. I don't think he can like going from a binds position to this position particularly. I don't want to go into a pin because there's rook d6. I can't underestimate his position. Rook hit e4. So there's no rook a1. What about bishop d7? There's rook c7. Bishop d5 takes bishop c4. 92, there's queen d1. This looks dangerous anyway, just to do this. Alright, there's a check here.
Check.
For bishop d5. I think he's lost control of the position totally. Bishop d5 is not working. Queen d3, bishop c4. He's got queen c4. There's rook a1 here though. Does that actually do anything? I know he's only got 0.5 of a second, but it'd be nice to try and find a strong move. In theory.
Check.
In practice I can't. Okay. No, he's probably still better here. I think he's still better. Basically, he is still better. He just gave me a bit of liberation though. There was a bit of liberation there. I thought I was dead in the water for an up and coming end game. Anyway, alright, it's been a fun couple of hours, I hope you find. It was fun games, yeah. If you know, scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is fun, 10 was boring. If you want to vote briefly. Otherwise, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll just check with my co-producer what's happening here. If okay, one moment. Oh, it's a bit cold actually in this this evening. It's a bit cold. Okay. Thanks. Okay. Just waiting for something. Just waiting for confirmation or something. Okay, yeah, I think we're ending here. So have a great week, have a great weekend, and have a great week next week. And just treat each game you lose as learning, because yeah, the ICC auto pairing is a killer. Yeah, and I hope you just enjoy your chess, and wonderful game, rich game, full of millions of possibilities for us to all blunder at some point, and just try and learn from the mistakes. So okay. All right, see you then. Cheers then. Thanks very much.